Have you ever felt something and had no idea what to call it?
Not sadness, not joy, just a strange ache in your chest, a flicker of wonder, a glitch in your emotional matrix. A moment that made you feel more alive, but also a little lost?
You're not alone. There are emotions we've all felt, quiet, powerful, haunting, and yet we've never had the words for them.
Until now. Today, we're diving into 13 rare and beautiful emotions from around the world. They're not just concepts. They're reflections of who we really are beneath the surface. Let's begin. You're walking down a busy street, coffee in hand, thoughts in your head.
And suddenly, it hits you.
Every single person around you, the man in the gray hoodie, the woman laughing into her phone, the kids staring out the car window, they all have lives as rich, complex, messy, and beautiful as your own. Childhoods, fears, inside jokes, crushing regrets, dreams they haven't told anyone. And you're just an extra in most of their stories. That moment, that eerie, quiet realization, has a name. Sonder. Coined by John Koenig in the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows, Sonder is the awakening to the deep complexity of the world outside your own mind. It's humbling. It's haunting. And it changes the way you see people forever. After Sonder, the stranger at the bus stop isn't just a stranger. He's someone who might be waiting on life-changing news.
The girl glued to her screen? She might be texting someone she shouldn't, battling her own storm.
Sonder isn't officially in any psychology textbook, but therapists recognize it in empathy work. Neuroscientists link it to ego dissolution and the default mode network. And once you felt it, you can't unfeel it. You start seeing people not as background characters, but as entire galaxies you'll never get to explore. You're standing at the edge of a cliff. The view is breathtaking. The world is still. And then your brain whispers, "Jump." You don't want to. You're not suicidal. But the thought slices through like a cold wind, sharp, sudden, and terrifying. That, my friend, is l'appel du vide, French for the call of the void. It's not a death wish, it's a glitch. A strange mental reflex, almost like your brain is double-checking your survival instinct. A quick pop-up window saying, "Are you sure you want to live?" As creepy as it sounds, it's surprisingly common. And here's the twist. Most people who experience it are mentally healthy. In fact, researchers now believe it's a sign of strong cognitive control. It's your subconscious testing the fences. Running a worst-case simulation in 0.5 seconds just to remind you, I choose life. But it doesn't make that jolt any less real. That shaky breath, that silent, "What the hell was that?" moment, that's part of it too. We all have them.
And now you have a name for it.
Ever just want to fall apart a little and have someone else hold the pieces? That's not neediness. That's amai, a Japanese word for the deep, unspoken longing
to be emotionally cared for without having to ask.
It's not romantic. It's not codependency. It's gentler than that.
Amai is the wish to be someone's small burden, to be carried, not because you're weak, but because you trust.
In Japanese psychology, a ma is seen as normal, even healthy.
It's the glue in relationships, the silent agreements of love and patience. But in the West, we call it clingy.
Immature. Too much.
And then we wonder why we're all touch-starved. Amai shows up in the quiet moments.
When a child pretends to be asleep just to be carried.
When you vent to someone, not to be fixed, but to be heard.
When you silently wish someone would offer help so you don't have to ask.
It's not weakness. It's the courage to trust that someone cares. Ask. Sometimes we don't want to be fixed. We just want to fall into someone without falling apart.
You set a goal. You grind for it. You hustle. You sacrifice.
And then you finally reach it. The promotion, the degree, the milestone.
But instead of joy, you feel a hollow ache.
That's Zielschmerz, a German word that literally means goal pain.
It's the hangover after success. The strange emptiness after achieving something you thought would change everything. Turns out, the climb felt more real than the view.
You expected fireworks. You got silence.
Psychologists are now using Zielschmerz to rethink how motivation really works.
Because maybe we're not just chasing goals. Maybe we're chasing meaning. And when our goals don't have soul, they leave us feeling a little fake.
Zielschmerz isn't failure. It's the moment you realize that external achievements don't fill internal gaps. It's that voice inside whispering, "I thought this would fix me."
And maybe that's the start of fixing something real. You arrive in a new country. The air smells different. The signs are unreadable.
Even gravity feels off.
You're not lost, exactly. You know where you are. You know how to buy coffee, hail a cab, speak your language.
And yet, something deep inside you whispers, "You're not from here."
That disorienting, out-of-body sensation has a name: dépaysement.
It's not just homesickness. It's a deeper psychological dislocation.
Like your inner compass is spinning.
Dépaysement shows up in expat psychology and identity research.
Because when you're yanked out of your cultural context, your brain starts asking questions like, who am I here?
Do I still make sense?
Some people love it. The thrill of being unknown, the adventure of reinvention.
But for others, it spirals into anxiety. Not because anything bad is happening, but because nothing feels real. It's like dreaming with your eyes open. Each emotional part needs to be gentle and sympathetic. The rules of the world have changed, and your soul hasn't caught up yet. But here's the silver lining. In that rootlessness, you get to choose what parts of yourself you want to carry forward. Dépaysement
isn't just disorientation. It's the first step toward transformation. You're standing at the edge of a mountain, watching the fog roll in, or staring at moonlight reflecting in a puddle,
Or catching the last flicker of a sunset before the stars come out.
and suddenly your chest tightens. You feel something, but you don't know what.
That's Yugan, a Japanese word for the subtle, mysterious awareness of deep beauty. It's not excitement. It's not sadness. It's a kind of reverence, a feeling so delicate that speaking it aloud might ruin it. Yugen is everywhere in Japanese aesthetics. It's the beauty of the fleeting, the quiet, the impermanent. A single leaf falling, a bird disappearing into the fog, a shadow that moves before you can describe it.
Western psychology has no direct translation for Yugan.
But researchers in emotional neuroscience are starting to study these in-between moments. Turns out, our brains light up not when we understand beauty, but when we're overwhelmed by it. We're wired for wonder. And Yugan reminds us that sometimes the most powerful feelings are the ones we never fully capture. Because beauty isn't always meant to be explained. Sometimes it's just meant to be felt. It's 2 a.m. You and your friends are a few drinks in when someone says, "Let's buy a boat. Let's start a taco truck. Let's make glow-in-the-dark yoga pants." And for a moment, it feels brilliant, genius even. That's a Schnapsy, a German word that literally means booze idea. But here's the twist. Schnapsy isn't always dumb. Cognitive scientists have discovered that alcohol lowers your brain's prefrontal inhibition. That's the filter that usually says, "Nah, that's dumb." And when the filter's down, weird, wild, creative ideas slip through. Now, sure, most Schnapsy are ridiculous, but every once in a while, they're gold. Some inventions, startups, even revolutions started as half-drunk nonsense. And it doesn't just happen at bars. It happens in showers, in heartbreak, in late-night breakdowns. When the walls come down, the ideas come up. So don't throw out that napkin sketch just yet. Maybe your burrito drone isn't dumb. Maybe it's your empire waiting to be built. You're watching kids play in the backyard. They're laughing, spinning, growing in fast forward. You smile. And then you feel a quiet sadness tugging at your chest. Nothing bad happened, but something beautiful is passing. That ache, that's mono no aware. It's the gentle sorrow of impermanence. The way something becomes more precious because you know it won't last. In Japan, the national symbol of this is the cherry blossom. It blooms, it dazzles, it falls, and people gather just to witness its fading. Mono no aware doesn't try to stop time. It just asks you to feel it. Psychologists who study grief and memory are starting to see how this emotion helps us process life. It teaches us to love without clinging, to say goodbye without regret. It's not depression. It's presence. It's the tear behind a smile, the weight behind a photograph, the quiet thought that says, "This is beautiful," because it's already ending. There's a kind of missing that doesn't feel like waiting. It feels like mourning. That's saudade, a Portuguese word that defies easy translation. It's not just nostalgia. It's not just heartbreak. It's love stretched across absence. You can feel saudade for someone you lost, or someone who was never really yours. For a childhood memory, for a song that reminds you of someone still alive, but no longer the same. It's missing, but deeper. It's missing that becomes part of who you are. In Portugal, people drink to it. In Brazil, entire genres of music are written about it. And in psychology, Saudade is considered an emotional blend of love, grief, and hope. Because here's the twist. Saudade isn't always sad. Sometimes it's warm, like hugging a ghost. You mattered, and you still do. And maybe that's the most beautiful kind of remembering. You see a photo of Iceland, or a tiny village in the Alps, or a desert under stars in Morocco, and something tugs at your chest. It's not wanderlust. It's not curiosity. It's something deeper. Like your soul remembers a place your passport doesn't. That's kaukokaipu, a Finnish word that means a profound longing for a faraway place. Not just wanting to go there, but missing it, even though you've never been. It makes no sense. And yet, you feel it. Neuroscientists link it to the brain's default mode network, the part that handles daydreams, imagination, and deep memory. Your mind fills in the blanks. It invents a version of home and then grieves it. Kaukokaipu explains why we stay up at 2 a.m. scrolling flights we'll never book. Why a drone video of Swiss mountains can make us cry. Why we fall in love with maps. You're not just restless. You're remembering something that never happened and missing it anyway. You're listening to music. The singer's voice cracks just right. The beat drops. The strings swell. And suddenly, goosebumps. A chill down your spine, like the universe just touched you. That's Frisson, a French word meaning shiver. It's not from cold, it's from awe. It's the body's way of saying, this moment matters. Music is the most common trigger, but Frisson can happen during movies, art, even conversations. Sometimes, even memories. Researchers have studied it as a neurological event, a full-body response triggered by a powerful emotional peak.
Your brain floods with dopamine and adrenaline. Your logic checks out, and your soul checks in.
But here's the thing. You can't force Frisson.
It lives in the space between expectation and wonder. When your body reacts before your mind can name the feeling.
And for a second, you're not thinking. You're just alive.
Soft tone, touching emotions. You're sitting in your room. Maybe it's quiet. Maybe it's late. And suddenly, the thought hits you. This isn't the story I thought I was telling. The plot doesn't make sense. The arc is broken. The character feels off. You're not sure what chapter you're in, or if you even like the book anymore. That's nodus tollens, a modern literary term, now being recognized in psychology. It's the moment you realize the story you were following no longer fits. You've outgrown a dream. You don't recognize your goals. You've been performing someone else's script, and the curtain's falling. It's not failure. It's confusion.
Narrative psychologists call this a self-story disruption.
And while it's painful, it's also powerful. Because once you realize the plot broke, you get to rewrite it.
You can't change the past. But the next page, that's still yours. You're brushing your teeth, scrolling your phone, driving home.
And suddenly, it washes over you. Time is moving too fast. Your childhood feels like a dream. Your parents are aging. The days are blurring. And you're watching your own life like it's outside a car window. Beautiful. Unreachable. That sensation has a name. Chronosensitivity. It's not fear of death. It's not anxiety. It's the emotional weight of sensing time pass and knowing you can't slow it down.
In mythologia, Chronos was the dios of time, a devourer, consuming all things, even his own children.
And that's what this emotion feels like. A soft panic wrapped in nostalgia. A quiet dread that even the good moments are slipping by too quickly. You start paying attention to your breath, your reflection, your heartbeat in the silence. These 13 emotions, you've probably felt them. But now, you can name them. And once you name a feeling, you begin to understand it. You begin to make peace with it. You begin to heal. You begin to become whole again. So the next time a strange emotion sneaks in, don't run from it. Get curious. Ask, what is this? Because every feeling has a story. And now you speak its language. If this video made you feel seen, feel something, or feel less alone, subscribe for more stories like this. Your emotions deserve to be understood.